At this moment in our politics and in our country, there's a lot of tension and division and toxic conversation in a lot of ways at the national level or even the international level that spills down into all of the communities. And in this role, I have been experiencing some of that. Whether it's protests outside my home or the comments that can just come with much heightened intensity and sometimes a more racialized or misogynistic component to it as well. Unfortunately, it's not new for many women in office and many women of color especially.
Shame on Wu! Shame on Wu! Shame on Wu! Shame on Wu! Shame on Wu!
When you are the first, I think the goal is to make sure that you're not the last one and to make the experience for whoever comes next even smoother, even more supported. It's always easier to do nothing in politics, and so every action that you take, you know it's going to be some changes that people need to have time to understand or maybe opposition to talk through. You can't take it personally. Out of the largest cities in this country, very, very few have ever had an Asian American woman mayor before. There are more and more Asian Americans being elected to office here, but it's still a very big gap from our representation to our population. But the reality is that we know when more different perspectives are at the table, when more people of color are representing our communities, in fact, everyone benefits. Everyone benefits from diversity, but it's still hard before you get to that tipping point. My mom and dad worked really hard to make sure that we would speak Mandarin at home and go to Chinese school and drive a very long way to get to the right grocery store that had the right vegetables, that was next to Wenjiao and to participate in all sorts of classes and listen to the Luing Dai along the way that was all Chinese opera and everything like that, stories. And so they worked really hard to preserve that sense of connection to culture and to the values that they wanted to pass on. I think for me, what has shaped my life most of all is family. 孝顺, right, is to do good in the world, you have to take care of those who are taking care of you. And I didn't know it at the time that growing up, very suddenly my mom would begin to struggle, and that in needing to seek care as the oldest daughter, it completely changed my life trajectory to step into the role of being a caregiver, helping to raise my sisters. And it was really in the years trying to sort out our family's struggles, figuring out the healthcare system with my mom, figuring out the education system with my sisters, opening a small business and trying to navigate all the permitting and licensing, that I really saw how much at the city level government makes a big difference in people's lives, and how it can either be a barrier and a difference that you have to fight your way through, or a support and a difference that can connect you to the programs and services that you need. It's been very painful to see the rise of anti-Asian hate across the country. Racism and hate often do the job of collapsing a person into just a flat stereotype. What hate and racism do is it makes it so that you are not a person anymore, and you're not going to be given the benefit of the doubt, and really you're just thought of as something totally differently. That's why it makes such a difference when there are more Asian Americans in visible leadership positions. I think my job also is to create space and be supportive and help create the pathways and keep the doors open so that there are many more of us, and that we can reach a tipping point for how much our leadership is expected.